And the suspicions were confirmed when he, of all people, started acting incomprehensibly yesterday onward. Just then, the bushes behind him shook. Where do you think you're going, Tsukasa? Tsukasa froze and turned around. A girl with jet black hair stood there. Oh, it's just you, Rei. It's just me? This after all the effort I took to follow you? I never asked for that. So? What do you want from me? Oh, well, I've been watching Kurokawa since yesterday, so I figured you might be pally without me by now. I'm not sure I follow what you mean by that. I see. That's a pity. By the way, Tsukasa, why are you skipping helping with the food and all that? Well, I'm looking for Fujita. For Shuhei? This isn't for a lover's rendezvous, I take it. You must be truly blessed to have such a vivid imagination. So I'm wrong? Then what are you after? Fuji's been acting strange since yesterday, so I was merely trying to confirm the reason for that. Shuhei's acting weird? It didn't seem that way to me. No, try thinking about it. Yesterday, Fujita went out on his own, saying he was trying to look to see if we missed any cubes, correct? What's so weird about that? I know we all look for the cubes together, but there's a possibility but we can't say for sure that we didn't miss any. No, that's not the issue. We searched in quite a hurry, so it is possible that we might have missed some cubes. But if that were the case, then you should have taken Yui along with them, because her PDA allows us to search for cubes. And yet he didn't do that. And what's more, I don't understand why he'd get worried about cubes now of all times. Even though we solved the food issue, we don't need weapons, and we have no problems concerning our clear conditions. When you put it like that, it does sound strange. Right? We haven't seen Fujita at all since we gone to the mountains today. Maybe you're just overthinking things? Perhaps. But also perhaps not. I see. So you're a scaredy cat, huh? Well, I have no intention of denying that opinion. It was indeed the fact that, ever since long ago, Tsukasa had taken plenty of precautions to protect himself for insurance for any unexpected circumstances. It probably was an exaggeration to say that could in a sense be called being a scaredy cat.
しかさ、今何かやましいことを考えていませんか?
Hold on. Tsukasa, you're not feeling guilty about something right now, are you?
どうしてそう思うの?
What would make you think that?
なんとなくです。
Just a hunch.
だったらレイこそ考えすぎなんじゃないのかな?
Then wouldn't you be overthinking things as well?
だといいのですが。
I sure hope so. Ray stared at Tsukasa's face. So Tsukasa decided to keep his own thoughts to himself for the time being. Once that time comes, how will I act? For whatever reason, Tsukasa still couldn't decide on that. And as for the person in question Tsukasa was looking for, Shuhei Fuji had been trying all sorts of things since yesterday. Shuhei muttered to himself, I stood at the boundaries of the game field in some woods far from the village. Alright, one more time. Shuhei grabbed his collar and tugged on it tightly. And a short while later, his PDA started blaring. Shockwaves have been detected in your collar. Please immediately let go of your collar. Your collar will detonate should you choose to ignore this warning. Crap! Shuhei frantically loosened his grip on his collar. When he did, the PDA alarm soon stopped. Shuhei rubbed his collar as he thought to himself. I see. It seems this warning is given automatically then. Shuhei had been trying to test out how the collar detonation mechanism worked. The message said that the collar will detonate in the event you continue to ignore the warning. There's probably some sort of hidden meaning in the word will detonate. The warning itself was automatic. But the detonation of the collars was probably deliberately controlled. But that was nothing more than speculation. So thinking that, Shuhei tried heading outside the area this time. And when he tried to leave, his PA alarm beeped again.
この先はエリア外です。直ちに引き返してください。
The area ahead is out of bounds. Please turn around at once. Shuhei backed away when he heard that. The alarm stopped again. It was likely that the collars had some sort of GPS device installed in them that sent the players' positions to the managers. Thanks to that, they could detect when a player tried to leave the field and send them a warning. Once he confirmed that, Shuhei summed up what he knew in his head. First of all, when any weight was added to the collar, the alarm would go off. But if that weight was not removed, it seemed the collar would detonate. Likewise, if he tried to leave the area, go out the area's bounds, the collar would send a warning. If you ignored it, your collar would detonate when you went out of bounds. But when he thought about those facts carefully, it brought to mind a certain question. How was it that the administrators, detonated the collars, in those events? Perhaps they sent us some sort of signal to the collars that would cause them to detonate. If that were the case, then it all added up. Like Konomi's clear condition, for example. Her clear condition called for her to not harm any players within 2 numbers of her. If she failed to fulfill this condition, in other words, if she hurt the 4, 5, 7, or 8, then her collar would be detonated. But how was that determined? There's probably no mechanical way to determine whether Konomi had hurt someone or not. So all he could think of was that the administrators were checking something on the surveillance cameras and then manually making those decisions themselves. There's no doubt about it. The warning itself is automatic, but the detonation of the collars is almost certainly manual. It's almost certainly carried out manually. It's likely that the managers are watching the game and send a signal when the need calls for it, causing the cause of any rule breakers to detonate. Shuhei felt there might be a loophole in there. Disassembling the collars was too dangerous, so he couldn't try that. But if he were somehow able to block the detonation signal from being sent to the caller, there might be a possibility he could go outside the area's bounds without it detonating. Of course, it was nothing more than a guess at this point. Even so, got no choice but to try. If he didn't, the administrators could detonate their collars whenever they wanted. That was only a possibility, and it depended on where the administrators could voluntarily detonate the players' collars. Like they might do to Shuhei if they continue to find loopholes in the rules. Though the administrators likely wouldn't just detonate his collar out of the blue for something like that. Until he confirmed that he couldn't take any risks. Should confirm this with the administrators first. He hated talking to the administrator man, and it felt dangerous. But Shuhei would merely be asking purely questions considering the rules. Nothing more, nothing less. So he couldn't back down. Shuhei thought that and headed for the central control facility one more time. Once he stepped inside, he saw someone in the faint darkness. Haruna was there. Surprise. Shuhei reeled in surprise. Did you come to ask the administrator a question? That's right. I came to probe the administrator's intentions. See how long they plan on dragging out this situation. Alright, let's go together. Wait, first things first. I don't know what you're planning on asking them about, but try not to, aggravate the administrators. Their lives are in our hands. Don't forget that. Alright, I'll keep it in mind. Shuhei opened the door to the conference room. As expected, nothing had changed about it since yesterday. Shuhei called out to the speaker near the ceiling. Can you hear me, Administrator? But there was no answer. Slightly confused, Shuhei tried again. Can you not hear me? Or have you decided to stop answering us altogether? And then shortly afterwards, I finally heard the voice from the speaker.
ああ、失礼しました。少しまどろんでいたもので。
Oh, my apologies. I dozed off for a bit there. It seemed not even the administrator was a machine. Shuhei snorted and continued.
そりゃ眠くもなるだろうさ。見てる側も退屈だろうしな。今回のゲームは。
Oh, no wonder you're sleepy. It must be boring watching this game, huh?
そうでもありませんよ。
That's not true.
本当か？こんなゲーム、俺が客ならとうに飽きてる。
Really? If I were a customer, I would have gotten sick of this game a long time ago.
なあ、いつまで続けるつもりなんだ？こんな泥試合を。
Hey, just how long do you plan on keeping the stalemate going?
いずれ叱るべき時に終了24時間前に通知します。
You'll be informed of when it happens, 24 hours in advance. It was the same answers last time, straight out of a textbook. Shuhei snorted again, then moved to the main topic.
まあそれはいい。それより何度もすまないが、ルールに関する質問をしたい。
Well, whatever. Anyway, I know I keep asking this, but I'd like to ask you something about the rules.
はい、どうぞ。
Yes, go ahead.
6つのルールに明文化されているルールに抵触した場合、俺たちの首輪は爆破されるんだよな。
Our calls will detonate if we break any of the 6 rules we were clearly given, right?
だがそれ以外の状況で、運営側が俺たちの首輪を任意に爆破するようなことはあり得るのか？
But is it possible for the administrators to detonate our collars voluntarily in situations besides that?
我々が殺したいと思ったプレイヤーを能動的に首輪を爆破して殺害することはあり得るかということですか？
Are you asking if it's possible for us to willingly kill a player we desire to kill?
そうだ。
To detonate the collar of a player we desire to kill. That's right.
いえ、それはよほどのことがない限りありえません。
No. That's impossible except under very specific circumstances.
首輪の爆破は最初にご説明した通り、あくまで基本的には
As I explained at the beginning, collar detonations are essentially
プレイヤーがルール違反を犯した場合、
collar detonations essentially occur when a player breaks the rules.
首輪を爆破する特殊機能を使われた場合、
In events where a special function that can detonate collars is used.
クリアが不可能になった場合、
In cases where it becomes impossible to fulfill your clear condition.
この3つの状況に限られます。なので、ご安心ください。
It is limited to these 3 circumstances, so please rest assured.
そうか。
I see. One second. Shuhei felt both relieved and skeptical at that answer. It sounded like the man was trying to give Shuhei some kind of hint. And it also sounded like he was enjoying manipulating Shuhei and the others. While seeing detonation can only occur under very specific circumstances. Despite that, it meant just as Shuhei suspected, the administrators could remotely detonate the collars. Haruna, who'd been listening up this whole time, sighed and answered.
ということは運営が任意に誰かを殺し強制的に状況を動かすということはないみたいね。
Which means the administrators can't voluntarily kill someone and force the situation to change.
でもそれじゃあきっとこのゲームは途方もなく長引くわよ。
But if that's the case, the game will keep on going without an end.
もう今回のゲームはやめてリセットしてしまった方がいいんじゃない？
Wouldn't it be better to end this game and just reset the whole thing altogether?
お気遣いありがとうございます。
We thank you for your consideration.
しかし心配せずとも停滞しているように見えたこのゲームもそのうち盛り上がるはずですよ。
But we have no need to worry. Though this game may look like as though it is stagnated, it should come with its own thrills.
なぜ？
Why is that?
どのような過程をたどろうと最後にはそうなるように我々が設定しましたから。
Because we designed this, no matter what process is taken, we will get the result we want in the end. Shuhei scowled at those words.
まるで未来を見通しているかのような言い草だな。
You're talking like you can see the future.
はい。
Yes. The administrator casually answered Shuhei's question. Shuhei and Haruna were taken aback, and the administrator continued.
あなたたちの行動など所詮我々の手のひらの上の出来事です。
In the end, the actions you take all happen according to our own design.
あなたたちは我々の与えたルールから外れることはできませんからね。
After all, you can't defy the rules we impose on you.
バカ言うな。俺たちは決められたルールの中でも自分の意思で行動している。
Don't be ridiculous. We're acting the way we want even in the rules you've set for us.
お前たちは自分の思い通りにプレイヤーが動いてくれなかったことを認められず、ムキになっているだけじゃないのか。
Sure, you're not just getting all pissy because the players aren't acting the way you want?
自分の意思で行動を決めた。どうやらあなたは世の中というものをよくご存じないようですね。
Acting according to your own will? It seems you don't know much about the way the world works. There was a faint hint of something fearful mixed in those words. Shuhei was taken aback, and the man continued.
人間の行動原理というものは自らの力ではそう変えられません。
Humans' behavioral principles cannot be changed by their own power.
変えられるのはむしろ他人。己より大きな力を持つものですよ。例えば我々のようにね。
If anything, it is others who can change that. From those who have more power than you. For example, like us.
人は自分の預かり知らぬところで己を縛るルールを与えられ、それに従って生きている。それがこの世の本当の姿です。
Even if they're not aware of it, people live according to rules. People are bound by, wait, hold on, sorry. Let me give this another look. People are bound by rules under supervision they are unaware of, and they live while following those rules. That's the true form of this world.
実際あなたたちに与えられたクリア条件はあなたたちの行動原理を大いに左右したでしょう。
In actuality, your clear conditions greatly influence your behavioral principles, does it not?
与えられたクリア条件次第であなたたちの行動原理もあっさりと変わるはずです。
Depending on the clear condition you're assigned, your behavioral principles could easily change.
例えばあなたに与えられたクリア条件が今と違っていたら今と同じように行動できたでしょうか。
For example, if you were given a different clear condition, would you be acting the same way you are now?
想像してみてください。仮にあなたのクリア条件がプレイヤーナンバージャックの殺害だったとしたら
Please, try imagining it. For example, what if your clear condition was to kill the owner of the Jack? To kill the Jack, not the owner of the Jack. Shuhei then finally realized what the man was talking about. If Shuhei's clear condition had been to kill the Jack player, in other words, Yuna, he probably wouldn't have traveled with Yuna. Even if that weren't the case, it would have taken Yuna quite some time for Shuhei to open his heart to Yuna. If he'd had to kill Yuna, then he highly doubted they could have formed the relationship they had now. Shuhei felt silent when he thought that, and the administrator continued.
あなたの言っている自分の意思とやらはその程度のものです。
That is the extent of this free will that you speak of.
自らの考えで行動を決めたなどおこがましい。
It is absurd to assume that your thoughts determine your actions.
あなたたちはあくまで我々の見せ物だということをどうかお忘れなき。
By all means, do not forget you are merely tools for our amusement. The administrator's words grew more and more compelling. Shuhei felt enveloped by the sense of confinement he'd been ignoring up until now.
だが見せ物にも意地がある。お前たちの思惑を跳ねのけることだってできる。
But even tools for amusement have their own backbone. We'll reject all your expectations and thrust them aside. No, we can't thrust them aside.
その結果がこのゲーム開始から7日目にしてまだ誰も死んでいないという現状だろう。
As a result of that, no one's died even after 7 days have passed since the start of the game.
お忘れですか。
Have you forgotten?
このゲームの序盤、プレイヤーナンバージャックがあなたと共に行動したのも私が与えた条件によるものだったという。
The whole reason you teamed up with Jack at the start of the game was because of a condition we imposed ourselves. He'd almost forgotten that. For some reason, the administrators had ordered Yuna at the start of the game to spend 24 hours or more with him. He hadn't thought about all that much back then. But why would the administrators order something like that? As a result, Shuhei and Yuna had teamed up and had gotten all the players together. But had that all been part of the administrators' plans to begin with? Yeah. A sense of uneasiness welled up within Shuhei. Were they perhaps heading for the worst possible outcome?
お前の狙いは何だ?
Hey, what are you after? The administrator answered in a composed voice.
ゲームを盛り上げること、それが私の行動原理です。
To make the game more exciting. That's the basis of my actions.
じゃあこのゲームの現状も初めからお前が望んでいたことだったのか?
Then is our current state of affairs what you want from the very beginning?
それにはお答えできません。
I cannot answer that.
なぜだ? お前には本当の狙いが何かあるんじゃないのか?
Why not? You must have your own goal, right?
お答えできません。
I cannot answer that.
だったら
Then Haruna tugged Shuhei's sleeve when he was saying that.
落ち着いて周平
Calm down, Shuhei.
忘れたのさっき私が言ったことこれ以上躍起になってはダメ
Did you forget what I told you? Don't provoke them any further. She had indeed said that. In the first place, their lives hinged on the administrator's whims. There was no doubt they'd be in danger if they angered them. Shuhei grit his teeth, and then the administrator continued.
質問は以上でしょうか。では、そろそろお引き取りください。
Will that be all? Then allow me to take my leave. No, sorry. Then please take your leave. His tone left no room for denial. Frustrated, Shuhei shot back at the speaker.
ああ、これ以上話しても無駄そうだしな。
Yeah. Seems to be a waste of time to talk any more further.
だが覚えておけよ。お前たちが与えるクリア条件がどうあれ、行動原理が変わらない奴もいるんだ。
But remember this. No matter what clear conditions you give us, there are those whose actions won't change.
あなたですか。
Are you referring to yourself?
いや、違う。ユーナだよ。
No, I'm not. I'm talking about Yuna.
あいつの意志がいずれ、お前らが与える小賢しい行動原理とやらを破壊する。そんな気がしないか。
her will eventually destroy these cunning behavioral principles that you believe in so much. Don't you get that sense?
そういう展開も盛り上がるかもしれませんね。
Perhaps there may be an exciting turn of events. The administrator wasn't phased. Haruna gave Shuhei a pat on the back as if to urge him onward.
もう行こう周平。
Let's go, Shuhei. Yeah. Shuhei and Haruna said that and they tried to leave the conference room. Just then, a voice called out to them.
そうそう。せっかくですから一つだけ私が考えているゲームを盛り上げるための方法をお教えしましょう。
I know. Since we're on the topic, I'll tell you of one way to make the game more exciting that I thought of. What?
プレイヤーナンバー8黒川正樹。彼が今後面白い動きをしてくれるのではないかと思うのですよ。
I'm talking about player number 8, Masuki Kurokawa. I think he may take some interesting actions in the future. I was saying Shuhei had also been dreading. He worried that once the game got into gear, that Kurokawa might go on a rampage.
肝に銘じておくよ。
I'll keep it in mind. Shuhei said then left the conference room with Haruna. Shuhei heaved a deep sigh as they walked down the hallway. Haruna then spoke up.
春菜、どう思う？
Then he spoke up to Haruna. Haruna, what was your take on that whole conversation?
運営に言われるまでもないことね。黒川に警戒しましょう。
Nothing the administrators need to tell us. Let's be careful of Kurokawa.
ここまで来てゲームを面白くするわけにはいかないもの。
We can't let the game get interesting after coming this far.
そうだな。
You're right. Shuhei said that and looked up at the night sky. The night of the 7th day was still quiet. But before long, this darkness could be stained in blood. That fear began to worm its way into Shuhei's mind. Mariko Ueno thought everything had been going well up to this point. All the players were headed towards fulfillment of their All the players were proceeding toward the fulfillment of their clear conditions. They'd removed all dangerous weapons from the field, and they didn't have to worry about food and water either. There were still 2 members amongst them who they hadn't gotten used to. But for the time being, they hadn't caused any big problems. So all they had left to do was wait until the final day of the game. But that night, in order to celebrate this, their wheat harvesting going well, for grand feast despite their limited provisions, the peace that Mariko believed in so much all came tumbling down at the words one man said.
なあおめえらよ、このゲームはいつ終わると思ってんだ？
Hey, you guys, when do you think this game is gonna end? Mariko stared vacantly at Kurokawa.
いつ終わるのかって。
Huh? When will it end?
だからこのゲームは本当にこのまま終わるのかって聞いてんだよ。
I'm asking you, you think the game's really gonna just end like this?
まさかてめえ、冬までこんな新規臭いところで原始人の真似事してるつもりか？めでてえ女だなおい。
You don't seriously think we'll be spending winter in this crappy place living like cavemen, do you? You sure are happy-go-lucky, eh? No one could say anything to those words. Immediately.
周平が言っていた2、3日っていうのは今日でもう終わりなのです。
Now you mention it, the 2-3 days that Shuhei was talking about ended today.
確かにこのゲームはいつになったら終わるのでしょうね。
You make a fair point. I'm wondering the same thing myself.
そうですね。
Yeah.
藤田はこの状況をどう思ってるんだ？
What's your take on the situation, Fujita?
どうってそれは。
Well, when Shuhei mumbled, everyone, not just Mariko, fell silent. There was no question that it was Shuhei who had led the group up until now, into proceeding without fighting amongst each other.
お母さん、おうどん伸びちゃうよ。
Mom, the udon's getting soggy.
ひとみは先に食べてていいよ。
It's okay, you go ahead and eat.
でもみんなと一緒の方がきっと美味しいと思うし。
But I think it'll taste better if I eat with everyone.